Quilting cottons has been a bit of a theme this week, and I've got a really beautiful garment to show you that I've sewn with quilting cotton. Just a few hours ago, it turned out amazing. I'm also going to share my tiny quilting cotton stash with you, so it'll be a fun one. Stay with me. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing. Today we continue a little bit on the topic of quilting cotton. You know, the previous video was about quilting cotton and how you can use it for garment sewing. I also showed you garments I've made with quilting cotton, how they've turned out, the types of styles that are best suited for quilting cotton. And I want to expand on that today by showing you a garment I've made just right now, because all the ones I've shown you were items I made quite a few years ago when I had access to quilting cotton. Also, if you notice, I'm filming in a different place, so after this video is done, stay to the very end and I'll show you this new filming space in detail. I think it's super cute and I want to share. If you're curious, about a week ago I was able to go to a humongous craft expo and I was able to pick up a piece and find out where I can get some more that are going to be really what I'm looking for in the quality, the softness, and the variety of prints that are more sort of suited for garment sewing rather than quilting, because you know, quilting cotton, the main goal is for quilts, right? But you can go around that and make yourself some garments as well. So what I've got to show you today is a brand new Presto Tunic. This is a pattern from Love Notions that I have made in the past, but I've always made it with flowy drapey fabrics just because those were the ones I had and those were my choices at the time. So this is a pattern that is perfect for quilting cotton, and it is the Feature Friday pattern for today. So if you want to get this lovely pattern, you can get it for $5 only today, Friday. These patterns that are featured, they're not featured frequently. It can be 1, even up to 2 years before they're featured again. So it's always nice to get them when they're featured. It's like 60% off. You can find my affiliate link down below and also my code Karina10 that gives you an extra 10% off at checkout. Most important feature is on the front, where you have a front panel inset here. So when you cut your front piece, you have little corners there where you insert those pieces, and those have a placket, a few buttons. They can be functional or not if you want to. You know, I've made most of them non-functional, which means I just sew the buttons right through. And to finish the neckline, you can do a banded collar, which is a really nice option. I have done that before. Or you can finish that top edge with bias tape that you make from the same fabric. If you do the collar, I do think the button should be functional because it comes a little higher and you wouldn't be able to just pull this on over your head. But if you did the bias tape version, it's a little lower and I can get my head through up, you know, in and out, so I don't really need the buttonholes to be functional there. So just think about that. I have a tutorial on the channel already showing you how to sew all this corner, the inset, the snip, how to stabilize the corner, how to sew the banded collar. I have it here already on the channel, so I will link it down below. I also have a type of masterclass on banded collars in even more detail, so I will leave that link down below for you to see. Now for this, it's a tunic, so it's longer at the front, a little shorter at the back. You have a split hem on the side. As an option, you have back waist darts on the pattern that you can sew in or not, depending if you want that type of shaping or not. But otherwise, you will get a really good fit up here because there is a bust dart. There is a standard bust and a full bust option. The full bust option will just give you a wider dart with more depth to give you more shaping for the larger bust projection. And it will also give you 2 inches of extra ease around this area, around the waist and the hips in general. It will give you about 2 inches of extra ease. For sleeves, you have several options. You can make it sleeveless, short sleeves, 3/4. You know, you can play around with the sleeves. I made the first dress in a crepe fabric, burgundy. Love that color. It's a color I've been trying to build up in my wardrobe. I think it's always harder to find that type of color in fabrics for some reason. But I love that one. I lengthened it into a dress, so it's not a tunic. I just evened out the hems and got rid of that split hem. Just continued the line all the way down and sewed my own sash in the same fabric. So that is a really nice dress, really simple type of shift style dress fit down below. And to highlight the features of the placket and the collar, I did that in a contrast solid burgundy, just so you could see them among the print. And then the second one I made, I used a rayon, super flowy, drapey fabric. I used short sleeves there because in the previous one I made it sleeveless. And one of the options you can do is take a large piece of fabric and do all the little pin tucks that you want, and then cut out these front panels that go in the center then sew on your plackets, and then finish your neckline. So that is an option I took there. I do have a video showing you how to achieve all that pin tuck look here on the front, so you can see exactly how to do it there, and it was so much fun. It does take up a lot more fabric though, because you need quite a big fabric to do all the pin tucks that then will reduce and end up in this little piece that's all pin tucked where you cut out your front panels. So just think about that, but I think it's a really nice ad and it just looks amazing in this little area right there. This one is not a tunic also. I made it shorter into a top and I love it. So nice, so soft. And then the third one I made is so nice. It's an embroidered rayon. Rayon a little heavier because of the embroidery in a really white fabric, so it's a little harder to see. And I made this one for my mom. I made it full length, and instead of having a sort of wider hem at the bottom, I drafted her a cuff, did a little bit of pleats in there. Hers has the banded collar, full bust option, darts, everything fits really well, and she loves that blouse. She's worn it so much this year. So that was really nice. And now I made a quilting cotton one. I have been showing my super nice quilting cotton that I found the other day, and now I have made it into a Presto tunic. This time I made it a little shorter even than I'd made it before. It's still hitting my mid to full hip, so it's not covering my bottom. It's a little higher than that. I still have the split hem on the side. This time I did the bias binding around the neckline. You know, cutting and pressing your bias tape with cotton is so easy. It's just so nice to cut out. You can use your ruler and make your markings, and your fabric is not going anywhere. So really enjoyable. I made bias tape to finish the neckline and the sleeveless armholes. I did want to sew the sleeve, but when I was placing my pattern pieces, I had shreds left. You know, I just did not have enough to cut the sleeves. 1 meter was not enough to cut a top with the sleeves. The panels take up a little bit more fabric, and also I used up quite a bit making the bias tape, which is something I really wanted to make with the same fabric. I did not want to make it with other fabric, so I just had to say goodbye to my sleeves, but that's fine. I love the sleeveless, and for quilting cotton, I think sleeveless is always a really good idea. You know, if you're hot and you need something fresh, you don't want to worry about the fit of the sleeves, do it sleeveless. But I think the sleeve for the Presto is nice and loose enough that you'll be comfortable and okay if you wanted to add a sleeve, if you wanted to make one with quilting cotton. Now, the Presto, it recommends a variety of woven fabrics. You could do this with chambray and light denim, cotton, shirting. So that does really expand well into quilting cotton, as well as making it with flowy fabrics like rayon, for example. You could make this with linen as well, and it would just look a little structured. And I think that's fine because it does have the feeding features that is going to make it okay, like the darts in the bust and the darts at the back. I haven't sewn the darts at the back for some of them. I have for others, but for the quilting cotton, I definitely did sew them. So let's see this one. I'm going to go outside and show you so the lighting's a little better. Here is my Presto tunic. I made it out of quilting cotton, a really special cotton. I'll just show you the features. I know it's a print and you won't see them as well as if I'd made it in a solid. But if I'm going to use quilting cotton, it's going to be a print. One of the options is to sew on a proper collar, a banded collar, but I chose to do bias binding instead. I think making bias tape out of quilting cotton is super easy and it's super easy to manage. I have made the banded collar before, at least twice when I've made the Presto. So either or, you choose. Here is the placket. I've got 5 buttons. They're about 2 1/4 inches apart, and I hope you can see the detail of the buttons. I think it's really nice. I picked them because they have a type of brass color on the outer edges, and that sort of matches with some of the tones in there. Plus the shiny bit on the inside that's a little white, matches the white flowers. I finished the sleeveless armholes there with bias tape that's exposed. So to match what was going on here on the neckline, I didn't want to do the binding hidden inside just because it wouldn't tie in together. So those are just details I'm looking for. Again, super easy to manage this bias tape with the quilting cotton, much easier than when you do it with rayon or other fabrics. Here is this panel that goes inside. There is a corner there, it goes across, another corner right there and goes up, and the placket. This time I didn't do buttonholes, I just sewed the buttons right through. I don't need to open the top one to get my head through, it fits just fine. So below this panel, it's on the fold right there. I do have bust darts here that go up to there, give the shaping that I need for a quilting cotton like this. There are optional back darts in the Presto, which I did sew. I did lower them to match my body, so I didn't use the markings on the pattern. I sort of just put the top on and figured out where they needed to be on my body. So I do have them there. Sometimes I haven't sewn the darts when I've made this with a rayon because you don't really need it. But if you have a little bit of excess there at the lower back, with quilting cotton you are going to see it. I turned it wrong sides out so you can see, you know, that you always have this like lighter tone of color inside, so I think it's easy to see what's going on. I used white serger thread. Here is the placket on the inside, and these are the corners there. Super easy to manage, super crisp, easy to do, to pivot right there. So that was way more enjoyable than with crepe or rayon, which are the fabrics I've used before. And here you can see the bias tape that just wraps around the raw edge. So with this technique you don't lose any seam allowance like you do when you do the binding that goes to the inside. So just take that into account that you're happy with the height there. It does make the opening a tad smaller than intended, but I really like a really well covered area right there, so I think this is perfect. And there's no gaping, it's just really good. Here you can see my waist darts at the back. They're only 3/8 of an inch in depth there. So basically I've removed 1.5 inches, which in cotton it makes a huge difference. With other fabrics that are drapier, it wouldn't really make that much of a difference, but with this one for sure it was really worth putting those darts in there. Here are my little side slits right there. My top is a lot shorter. This is not a tunic, this is actually a top. I have evened out the front and the back hems because in the original design the back hem is longer than the front. So that is easy, you can do that easily if you just want a top and not a tunic. I would not want to make a tunic out of quilting cotton. I think it would just be too voluminous. I think it's either a top or a dress, and then the dress you could bring it in at the waist with a belt if you want. Always remember that any garment you make with quilting cotton is going to give you a more casual look, of course, because the fabric doesn't have a slight sheen to it. It's really matte. You know, it's just going to look a little different, a little wrinklier than if you used actual garment cotton. But it's still doable. You can still pull it off if you find the correct print that you really like and match it with a really nice style like the Presto here. It was a delight to sew. So if you're scared of these types of features on patterns, you know, these corners, this panel inset, the placket, it's so much easier with cotton. So this is a really good pattern for this type of fabric for sure. I've paired it with my brand new legato jeans in dark grey tones. I think it goes really well. And just so you can see, you can really dress up your quilting cotton. I've tried a more dressy casual look. I'm still wearing jeans, so it's never going to be too dressy. But I've got the nice heels and bag. This is my 4th Presto tunic. Hand-picked this quilting cotton print for this beautiful top. I've paired it with my brand new legato jeans, and it was such a lovely, enjoyable project to make. After making this one with rayon and crepe in the past, which are fabrics that take a little bit more care. Here you can see it's a little shorter. This is not a tunic. It does reach my full hip but doesn't cover my bottom. I did add the back darts that are optional. I think that is important with quilting cotton because it's a fabric that doesn't really drape. I have side slits there, and I finished my neckline with bias tape. You can also add a banded collar if you want to, but I think bias tape is so easy to work with if you're using quilting cotton. Here is a closer look at the placket. I didn't do buttonholes there, and the front insets have a seam and 2 corners there at the bottom where you need to pivot. Easy to do with quilting cotton, and I have a sleeveless option here. I love the cover. I finished them with bias tape in the same way I did the neckline so that it's exposed. Every detail and feature here was just so much easier to sew. Smooth sailing. I love how it turned out, and that I can use quilting cotton for such a beautiful design like this. This design is perfect for fabric that is a little more structured like quilting cotton. So I also wanted to share with you my tiny, it's very tiny, like if you saw my collection of rayons, it's so much, but for quilting cottons it's not much at all. So I did prep them and wash them the other day so that I have them ready. I have this one that's in houndstooth. It's a medium-sized houndstooth, and I bought this with the intention of making a pencil skirt, sort of like a wrap skirt but pencil skirt style. So it's only a meter, it's just enough, it's nice and structured, it's going to take the zipper and the waistband really well, interface that waistband, and I will definitely be lining this, but that is an idea I have for this one. Could end up being something else. Now I have this fabric that is so nice, it's also very good quality. I purchased this maybe a year ago in a local shop that sold a lot of quilting fabric, and out of all the prints, this is one that I liked. It's really small though, it's really small, but what I liked about it was that it's got a grey background and it's got a tiny bit of pink. So I think this would be really nice for a shirt. For sure, these fabrics are a bit expensive. I would equate them to the price of linen for me right here. So I don't buy yardage and yardage. I only got a meter, just thinking of simple tops with maybe short sleeves. So that's one of them. And this is another one I found in that same shop that is sort of similar. So out of 100 fabrics they had there, I found 2 that I liked. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. Navy background with tiny, tiny leaves with these colors. I think is just so beautiful. So I also just have about a meter, maybe it's 1.2 meters right here for this one. I wash them with regular detergent. It's really relaxing to wash and prep your cotton because you don't need to have any special precautions like you do with other fabrics. Just chuck them in the machine, put your regular detergent. I think fabric softener does help. So that's all. Then I just hang them out to dry. I don't need to dry them flat or be careful with things like that. So that's nice. And then this is the last one I have. So I basically have 4 pieces here. Nothing. This is a burgundy and it's got some tropical print. It's looking sort of light pink on the screen, but it is a dark burgundy and it's got a bit of tropical print going on there. But it's not too in your face, So I don't know what I'll make with this. I also just have a meter. So I just wanted to share the ones I have and why I felt I needed to get more. Having 4 prints here is just not enough for my creativity sometimes. I need more options than that, especially when I don't have access, like quick access to fabrics here. So that's why I want to go online and buy a few more. 5th one was the one I got the other day and I made this amazing Presto Tunic with. I think it turned out amazing. I know a lot of you have quilting cotton, so it's a topic I thought deserved a little bit of time here on the channel. Don't forget to go and look at the Presto Tunic so you can make it with nice cottons that you might have around. I think it's a really good fabric to pattern match. Just make sure you get your fitting right, get your bust darts in. If you need waist darts at the back, don't ignore them, put them in. I think it makes a huge difference and I'm really happy, super successful. I know I'm going to wear this and it's going to be so fresh and beautiful, and I'm happy I found that fabric and made it into a garment so quickly. Sometimes they lie in my collection for months, years. Nope, this one was in my collection for like a week. Less than a week actually, so I'm really happy about that. I also want to show you my new filming studio. This is how the entrance looks. It's just like a balcony that's been closed off, I guess, by the owners of the house. So I had set one up in a spare bedroom downstairs, but then my mum came, I had to buy a bed. I don't have any place to put the bed, so that is going to be a permanent guest room now. So I've removed my filming studio from there. But I have this little balcony on the side of my house where I was just hanging clothes to dry. I've got really good natural lighting because I have a huge window right here. I've put up curtains from the roof down, soundproof curtains, the ones I had in my other room, and I've moved over my acoustic panels over here, so they're on this wall all the way down there. I've brought my sewing letters. I want to show you my mum's painting. It's so beautiful. She brought it for me when she came to see me a little while back, and she painted it. Oil painting, and it's got a singer with flowers. It just matches my aesthetic so perfectly. It's so beautiful, so that's gonna go there. I have another window there, so I had to cover that because otherwise I would get backlight when I'm filming, and that's not good. So other than being soundproof curtains, these are blackout curtains as well. I have a little light there to give me light from the side, some decorations. I'll be changing that type of fake flower that I have here. I'll always use fake flowers because I just cannot keep anything alive. Plants or real flowers, they're just gonna die super fast under my care. So that is not gonna work. Right next to me when I film, I have this clothing rack there where I can hang the items I'm gonna show. And it's so practical. I have a big soft box light there that's gonna go in front so I can get even lighting. It's so cozy, so warm. I think it was easier to soundproof than the big room downstairs. I'm gonna always have it ready to go and ready to film for when the weather's bad out there or just anything's going on out there that I can't film outside, because I really do like filming out there. Down at the bottom, I've added carpet. So it's such a cute corner right here. And I'm just really happy with how it turned out. Totally unplanned, but now I have a guest bedroom downstairs where the actual filming studio was that I'd set up originally. I'm really happy with how this looks, and I hope you like the videos I film here. I think they look cute. I hope you have a lot of fun plans for this weekend. I have a lot of plans. I'm making some jackets, pretty involved ones, and I'm so excited about them. Line jackets. I would make a jacket every week if I could. I just enjoy the process so much. So I'm gonna be doing that. So I have quite a busy couple of days coming up, but I'm happy as always because I just really like sewing and I love filming. So I've got the perfect job and I'm really, really excited. I am looking forward to a day off though this weekend. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you again very soon with more sewing next week. Bye.